This just in, Rebellion versus Triple just wrapped up. They went all the way to the ace match. That's why they took a little bit longer. And Rebellion did take down Triple, which means Rebellion, he's up against Solar in the quarterfinals. So all the quarterfinals matches are underway, at least. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Teal Protoss player representing Team Starcom. It is Ashbringer. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our Terran versus Protoss matchup. Ashbringer, he did have a crazy comeback and a crazy resurgence in that last game, in that last series, but now he's up against one of the favorites to win the entire tournament. So there's a reason why he is slated to be the #1 seed of tonight's broadcast. Oh boy, we'll see if he can be brought down. We shall see. Players are setting up. So far, we do have our initial openers here. So Gate expanded to Cybercore for Ashbringer. Economic start from our Teal Protoss player. Likewise, we see ByuN opening up Double Gas. Ooh, Double Gas opener into a faster factory, into a delayed CC. So a more tech-heavy start. And welcome one and all to Pylon. Pylon is one of the more smaller maps in the map pool. Shorter rushes by ground, known for aggression. And that is what we're expecting out of ByuN. As we already do go for that faster factory. Now, ByuN, he's not really known for 2-base all-ins. Some other Korean Terrans are. Players like Cure, for example, Bunny, Ryung, Maru as well. A lot of the other Korean Terrans out there are known for 2-base all-ins in this matchup. ByuN is not. ByuN, he's the most macro-oriented out of all the other Korean Terran players. Sure, 100%. So there is a greater chance here that he's going to be opening up aggressively and getting into a third base instead. Regardless, we'll see if Ashbringer can keep up. Likewise, we'll see how Ashbringer looks in this matchup, because we haven't seen it yet. Remember, Ashbringer, this is his return. The last time Ashbringer played in the Sparkling Tuna Cup was Sparkling Tuna Cup number 51. It's number 103. It's over 50 Tuna Cups ago. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since Ashbringer has competed in our tournaments, or just competed in general in a more open setting. So I'm curious to see what he's looking like at the moment. How rusty is he exactly? He's not as active as he used to be. He's not as in form as he used to be. So we'll see what he brings to the table. Now Double Reaper does get into the mineral line, gets one probe. Gets up. Just one so far, gets into the main. Barely does bypass the main army, or the main 2 units. He gets a second probe. Nice start for ByuN. Gets 2 probe kills, Hellion hits the natural, and he will get another worker. Ooh, barely not. Whew. Thankfully, Ashbringer does pull away to the shield battery. Does save his probes. Save his workers. And yo, I did miss this, but in the chat, este paquito, papi. Good to see you, papi. Good to see you. Este paque, Mike. Buenos días. Cuídate, papi. Cuídate. Este paquito. Always good to see you. As we are moving out. Again, we have Reaper Hellion threatening a dive into the natural, hoping to cause a distraction. Meanwhile, we have a mine drop into the main. Not too committed. Only a singular mine drop. Back at home, we do have our 1-1-1. Early tank production here out of ByuN. Not going for early stim. Likewise, getting his tech lab on the starport for, I would imagine, Banshee play. Could even just go Raven. Oh, never mind. Going into Liberator? Okay. You have my attention. Does retarget, picks off a Stalker, picks up, goes away, can always go back in for another drop. So nice to pick off there from ByuN. Meanwhile, Ashbringer opening up, I assumed a blink, but no. He's going for early, very early forge, really early +1 into charge. That was +1 before the upgrade. What the hell? This is a really old school build. Really fast +1 in charge into 2-base Colossus. all before the third. So really dedicated 2-base play here. I would favor this kind of build against a 2-base all-in. Like, if ByuN was going 2-base all-in, and if he was planning to pull the boys, then I do think that Ashbringer could have an army set up here to shut it down. The problem is that ByuN is not going all-in. How many tanks did he make? One. Only one tank. Like, but I don't think he intends. Like, he intends to expand for sure. Like, he's only got one tank. He does go for the add-on swap into Stim. This is earlier Stim than we're used to. He didn't invest into anything. He got out of the tech lab, which means we're going into more bio upgrades. So Stim into combat shields. We got +1. We should be seeing extra racks behind this, and we'll keep an eye on that CC. Keep an eye on it. But ByuN shouldn't be pushing on 2 bases. I would imagine that's what Ashbringer wants. As Liberator does get into the main. 3 probes going down, not bad. As Liberator even repositions for extra probes. Going for the Stalkers. Okay. Nice retargeting there out of ByuN. Does focus out more workers here as we get 9 probe kills in total. Ay. Brutal losses, and there it is. There's that third CC. Again, the tell here to get that we assumed that ByuN was going to expand and get a third base was, I mean, one, the extra racks were delayed, true, but also just a low tank count. If we're going for an all-in, typically we do invest quite heavily into additional tanks, into a second, third, sometimes even a fourth tank as well, as that is typically the backbone of the army. If the plan was to go for like a heavy bio all-in, then Stim would have been even faster, I feel, and we would have seen like a 3 or 4 rack setup. But alas, here, building up into a longer game instead. Which, if you remember, this is kind of the MO for ByuN. We spoke about how ByuN, at the start of the game, he is kind of the most macro-oriented out of all the Korean Terrans. Out of almost every Terran in the world. Almost. Ashbringer does deflect. And this Ashbringer, he is going to be expanding. Again, a very, very late third base here. And this is why I favor ByuN's position. Remember, ByuN, he's expanding, he's teching up, he's working towards greater upgrades, he's getting into ghost production. ByuN doesn't have to push into this. He doesn't need to. He's been killing probes this entire time. Does not need to push into the Colossus. He can just calm things down, take it slow. And just get further ahead. Just get further ahead. Again, because Ashbringer's third base is so late, that's also why ByuN has such a large army. That's why the supply disparity here, it should be getting larger and larger as ByuN gets his own third faster than Ashbringer, which is almost never seen. Like, you almost never see a Terran play with a faster third base than the Protoss. So Ashbringer is falling further behind. I'll say the best chance for Ashbringer is to go for an all-in, to commit. He's got how many gates? 8. Gonna have an 8-gate setup. Ashbringer, he needs to find damage with this. How many ghosts does ByuN have? 3. He has 3 ghosts. Ashbringer, he rotates on the right-hand side, looking for a better angle into the natural. ByuN, he does miss the rotation. That's why ByuN is setting up here at his third. Doesn't know where the army is. Okay, Ashbringer, can we pull this off? As again, there's no saturation. It's basically, this is a fake third. Fake third base, 2 base all in out of Ashbringer. Let's go. Mine shots going up, brutal connections. EMPs on the Archons, oh my god. And we have Vikings for the sky. ByuN, he kites back well. Kites into the minefield. Colossus is going to be going down. Boys are being pulled. ByuN, he can afford to lose the boys. And Ashbringer, he'll lose everything. He'll lose everything here. Vikings, they land. They clean up the Colossus. They clean up the prison. The army goes down. GG gets called. And ByuN, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Ashbringer, he essentially was going for a 2-base all-in. The 3rd base was just for show. I'm curious if that was always the plan. That I'm not so sure about. Like, was it always the plan that the 3rd base was never going to be saturated from the side of Ashbringer? Hard to say. It's possible that was just an adaptation, just a reaction, just because he lost so many workers in the lead up to the 3rd, and because it was so late anyway, like, it added up, like, that might have just been, like, an on-the-fly decision. Regardless, GG, well played. ByuN, he had plenty to work with there. He holds, he defends, and with that, ByuN takes a lead. ByuN does take a lead in the series, and with that, we're now getting into game number 2, and we'll see how Ashbringer is going to approach the 2nd game. More importantly, what map are we loading into? True. Where are we dropping? Where are we dropping? As the rest of the bracket is progressing. Are getting there. Just catching up in the chat. ByuN's probably going to go really fast since he has to play hero later or Woody's tournaments. Is that a thing? Let's see. I mean, clearly not. Like that. Like ByuN took a slow approach. As I mentioned, like ByuN, he's not known for all-ins, so didn't have it here. But you are correct. Woody's Summer Championship, it starts soon. Unless that's played by replays. I'll ask ByuN after this, because he apparently is meant to be competing in Woody's tournaments. Uh-oh. Things. Wait, does ByuN know? I'll let him know after this. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran himself. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is a ByuN. Leading the series 1-0 and spawning in the top right-hand corner. We have the Teal Protoss player, the Teal Protoss representing Team Starcom. It is Ashbringer. Go. But yeah, if ByuN's playing in this tournament in the Sparkling Tuna Cup, then it's very likely that maybe Wardy's casting from replays. I know that does sometimes happen, depending on the scheduling, because he organizes tournaments with players from different regions. Sometimes that occurs, but I'll find out after this game or after the series. Now then. But now we're settling in. Yo, is this when ByuN's like, yeah, I'm gonna forfeit Woody's tournament? No shot. No shot. We'll see. As for now, double gas opener here. We're going for a faster factory. The same opener 2 games in a row. Same opener here from ByuN. Meanwhile, we do see Ashbringer going for his own gate cyber expand here. Okay, expanding the cybercore. But welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool, known for defensive play. Known for more defensive play. Favors more defensive play as well, so we're expecting Ashbringer to go for a more greedy economic opener. Likewise, we're expecting the same out of ByuN. As I just mentioned, as was brought up earlier, apparently ByuN is meant to be competing in another tournament soon, so there might be a chance here that he's going to be more aggressive. But if he wasn't aggressive in game 1, which, like, again, Pylon, that's the map where you can go for all-ins. They can hit pretty hard. ByuN didn't go for that on Pylon, so if he didn't do it on Pylon, no shot he does it here. So I think he's just going to play out a regular game. Be honest. I'll be honest, back. as ByuN does poke in. Once again, fast forge. So this is something that we didn't actually bring attention to in the last game, but something that we noticed after the fact is this fast forge build. So really fast forge, really fast +1 into charge. It looks like the same build 2 games in a row. Hellion gets 1, gets 2 worker kills so far, goes into the main, and we're gonna get a full scout. ByuN, he will confirm with the forge timing. So ByuN knows. ByuN, he sees the build, and once again, I would imagine that ByuN's gonna react the same way. We spoke about this a little bit last game, but seeing early +1, seeing delayed Twilight Council, this screams +1 in charge, and if you're going for a charge-based opener, this is designed to shut down all-ins. This might be part of the reason why last game ByuN did get a third and play more macro-oriented. We should be seeing the same thing here as well. Like we shouldn't be seeing ByuN commit and double down. But now we have once again Liberator on the way. We have the 1 tank. We'll see if ByuN once again stays on a low tank count as he moves out with a double mind drop. Does move out with the mines. Headed for the main base. Meanwhile, big shout to Jadoff in the chat. To God, baby God. Esther Jadoff. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good ladder session. It's been a while, Papi. It's been a while, but good to see you as always. Ooh, this match is going on. Denying so much mine time even. I get the unburrowing. Does unburrow, does deny mining time. Catching out one of the stalkers and will not save the second winner mine. A little bit cheeky there by ByuN, a little bit greedy. Didn't quite pull it off. Ooh, a bit of a miss rally. There we go. ByuN does notice. He pulls back. And behind this, he's done with tanks. So just like last game, he is switching into bio. He's switching out of tank production. He's not going for an all-in. This does look like a repeat of the last game. So ByuN is taking a slower approach. See some people saying in the chat, like, ByuN's too good for this. It'll be over soon. I mean, just like last game, it's looking like a longer game state for ByuN. But he's doing a lot of damage. Like, he's denying a lot of mine time. He's killing probes. He's getting ahead. Like, ByuN, he's taking a lead. He's going to snipe the sentries. Ay, ay, ay. Sentries going to be going down, and probes as well. So ByuN is getting comfortable, and as we mentioned, everything that we saw looked like a macro game. There it is, third CC. Like, just, I guess, validation of just the build that we were pointing out. Again, ByuN, he's setting up for a longer macro game. And again, because he knows that charge is done. Like, you don't want to be all-inning or pushing into a player that does open charge like this. So ByuN is going to calm down, he's going to settle in, get his third base up, and we're going to see if Ashbringer is forced into an all-in. Remember, last game, the game ended because Ashbringer, here, no third. There's no third base, so it's looking more and more like Ashbringer, he's the one that's going to be coming to an all-in, and ByuN, he's setting up to be ready for it. Oh, as ByuN's moving out. Okay, ByuN coming to Ashbringer. I mean, this could work as well. Like, ByuN, he's expanding, he's building up his production, but because of all the economic damage, there's barely anything here. There's barely anything here. ByuN, he can pop off with this force. This force isn't meant to end the game, but it might just. Yeah, he scans, there's the Colossus now. I was gonna say that ByuN, he scans, he sees nothing, so he can move in, but the Colossus does complicate things. ByuN, he drops into the main. Gets Zella, picks up a Stalker. If we see an overreaction, then ByuN can try to push into the natural. Ashbringer, he's trying to play it safe. But he's losing a lot of units here, losing both Stalkers. You can see Ashbringer, he knows that the main army is out there. He doesn't want to move his Colossus. So he does maintain his natural, but no third. No third base. Ashbringer is falling further behind. He's falling further behind here. As ByuN is going to have, or he already has an economic lead, now claiming his third. ByuN is moving out. ByuN's up 10 workers now. Oh, someone's listening to the cast. yeah, as we've been pointing out. Like, ByuN, he's getting further ahead. As we mentioned, Ashbringer is forcing himself into a 2-base all-in. There would need to be a third by now. That's why we were praising the Liberator and Widowmine economic damage earlier. Yes. Did go for it. And ByuN just has to play safe. He just has to set up back at home. At this point, he knows. Like, at this point, it's confirmation that Ashbringer, he will soon move out with everything he has, and ByuN just has to make sure he's ready for it. There we go. Throwing down his wall of turrets, depots as well. He's setting up defensively. Hopefully, he can secure his location here, outside of his natural, and all he has to do is just wait. Just wait for his opponent. There's no need to push into this. There's no need for ByuN to overextend and to push into a defending player. Just wait for the Protoss to come to you. Just like last game. Just like game 1. So ByuN getting a 4th CC. From here we can get sensor towers, turrets into the main base to deny any kind of drop play. I was going to say that he's more vulnerable here in between his 3rd and natural, but now he's getting his SimCity going with his CC, with his depot. There's a sensor tower. And again, these are all the correct moves. Like, you just have to wait for your opponents. And then when ByuN maxes out, then he can be the aggressor. Like, right now, he's waiting for his opponent, but we're about to max out, then ByuN can start pushing, and yeah, Ashbringer, he's just so far behind. It's a 10-minute 3rd base. 10 minutes, papi. Ay, ay, ay. So in chat, how is ByuN playing here in the World TV Championship at the same time? If you recall, I did mention earlier that there's a high chance that maybe Wardy is casting replays, and looks like that is the case. So that means that ByuN has nothing to be worried about when it comes to like overrunning and clashing with Wardy's tournaments. So it looks like Wardy is casting from replays. Which is fine. Like, that's, as we mentioned, like sometimes it can be difficult to schedule between players in different regions. As the EMPs do pop up, ByuN, he can afford to trade inefficiently, as he's going for the Colossus. Yeah, nice EMPs, covers the Immortals. And with that, ByuN, he will overwhelm. He takes down the Immortals, takes down the Stalkers, going for the Colossus. Not the prettiest trade here for ByuN, not the cleanest trade, but he breaks through. He breaks through nonetheless. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will claim the series at 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, ByuN. He will claim the series, and with that, we have our our second semi-finalist. Let's catch up. Let's catch up with the bracket. Again, unfortunately, Ashbringer, he was just being really, really defensive and safe. And as I mentioned before, like, the style that Ashbringer was playing is a little bit more ideal if he was blindly setting up for his opponent all-inning into him. But as we mentioned, ByuN, he's the most macro-oriented out of almost all the players out there. He's very much so one to take things a little bit slower, to build up into a 3rd and 4th base, as we saw in both games. He's not really one to embrace these all-ins. So Ashbringer, he was getting ready and setting up for a style that wasn't really coming his way. Something that would work better against almost all the other Terrans out there that are known for all-inning and putting the boys on 2 bases. Not ByuN, though. Not ByuN. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, ByuN does advance on, and let's catch up on the bracket as we have our first semis ready. Here we go. ByuN does take the series 2-0, and with that, it's going to be ByuN versus Creator in the upper semis. Showtime is still waiting for his next opponent.